G'day, my name's Ken Fogg. I'm a local mechanic and I live in Tea Tree Wells, 200 kilometres north of Alice Springs, 17 kilometres from the exact centre of Australia. What else do you want to know?
Yeah, for us it's quite lonely here. It's we just see a few cars passing, but it's how is the life in this area?
The life here, very peaceful. Also at times very busy, because we get people like you coming through all the time.
And how many years do you live now here?
I've actually been in Tea Tree itself for 23 years, and before that 15 years in Alice Springs.
23 years now in Tea Tree.
Yeah.
And don't you feel lonely here sometimes?
No.
No?
No.
So you got also, it's maybe a silly question, but you also got telephone, of course, and other things, and...
Yeah, telephone, television, radio, computer, every modern convenience we could possibly want is here. The only thing we haven't got are mobile telephones. They don't exist in the outback.
Mm. And how do you actually come from England, you said before?
Yeah, originally English.
And how do you manage the weather here? Because we drove now.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
I don't like cold.
But it's really, it's not warm, it's hot here. It's really...
How hot is it in summer?
Here, it can get to 45 degrees, but it's a very dry heat.
Yeah.
Therefore it's quite pleasant. You can still work in it. Darwin, which is 1,300 kilometres away, is a very wet heat. And it's unbearable.
Yeah.
But here, no, very pleasant.
Uh-huh. And don't you miss somehow the cultural life of a city? So of this?
No.
No.
No, very definitely not.
So you get also people passing here, and the car is damaged and so, and you get in contact and everything.
Yeah.
And it's really.
Yeah. All the time.
Yeah, it might be that you get more contact than somebody in a town or so, that to people.
Yeah, I would get more contact with people than a lot of the other people who live in town here, because I'm dealing with strangers all day, every day.
When have you been the last time to England?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. And how is your distance to this country now? Or your personal distance, your emotional distance? Is it yours?
Oh, I'm Australian.
You're Australian, completely.
Yeah. Have been ever since I got here. I'm Australian.
But the most question we ask us all the time is, okay, when I settled to Australia, because Australia has such a long coastal area, so many coastal, but so much coast.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get to settle here, and not, for example, near to Sydney or somewhere on the coast where you can live right on the beach?
I lived in Melbourne, then decided to drive around Australia. I got to Alice Springs and I never left.
You loved it?
Yeah.
Fell in love with...
I love it out at the back out the bush.
So you met a girl, or you just...
I already met my wife in Melbourne.
In Melbourne?
Yeah.
So, okay. So you just came to Alice Springs and you said...
And we stayed.
You stayed?
Yeah, and then about 15 years later moved up here.
And how is it with shopping and so? Where you get your food? So yeah, there's no big.
Get in the car and go to Alice. It's only 2 hours drive.
It's normal for shopping, 2 hours.
Got no choice. But it's only 2 hours. It's bitumen all the way.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing. 2 hours.
Oh, it is nothing.
Yeah.
You have driven today 1,000 kilometres, just under 900 kilometres.
Yeah.
That's a long way.
That's really long.
But 200 kilometres, it's nothing.
What is special here?
What is special about this place for you?
Well, there's nothing really special about it apart from just the relaxed lifestyle. There's enough work to make a decent living, but there's no great pressure. That's perhaps the most important thing of everything. There's no great pressure in it.
So it's also is it also an escape from the social life in the city?
No, not an escape. I don't consider that a city has a social life.
Yeah.
A city consists of an awful lot of strangers.
Yeah.
Here, we know everybody, and everybody knows us. That's a social life.
So how many people do live here?
In the township itself, just under 100. In the area, about 2,000. But the area covers 55,000 square miles.
55,000 square miles.
Yeah, that's what we class as this area.
And another question, do more white people live here or more Aboriginal people? Or?
Aboriginals are the dominant population. Very much so. Telephone, fellas. Excuse me.
Okay, great.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah.